What's up guys, G.I.O-vanna here, and I'm doing this vlog to finally tell you what happened. As some of you know, I think all of you know, I'm from Brazil and I came to Canada to study. So the story starts this way. A couple years back, I was doing my course in my college. I'm a game designer. I did game design back in Brazil, and my university, it had a program that I could go to, I don't know, I think New Zealand or something like that, to study and then get back and finish my degree. And I applied for that, but I was 6 months too late and I didn't manage to get it, because next year was going to be the year of my final project. We call that back in Brazil, we call that TCC, and it's basically like the biggest project of your life. That in some programs you do like a thesis, but in other programs like game design, I had to make a game, make my thesis, and make a lot of other stuff that comes with the game. So I didn't manage to get the New Zealand one, so I did start to look at fairs that we had back home that showed us some universities and some colleges that were in every place, like every country. And then I think about 3 years ago I found Fun Show, and there was the international rep there. He's called Nelson. He's the international rep for Brazil, and well, I don't know, he's from most countries. He's the international rep for most countries on Latin America. And Nelson talked to me, and my mom was in that fair, and he talked to me and my mom, and I saw this program that I'm making now. I'm going to start anyway on Tuesday, yeah. And I saw this program called 3D animation and character design. Now, for those who know me, to say I'm a big fan of animation is to put it lightly. I go to every single animation movie I can of the movies. I always, since I remember, I've watched anime and cartoons and everything that's related to animation. I've always liked them. I love to write, and I did a script course back home. I love everything about this industry, and also I am a game designer. So I simply got being a game designer, loving animation, put them together and found this postgrad program called 3D animation and character design. That's what I applied to do at Fun Show. And it didn't start this way, like it didn't start this way. It started, to be honest, my whole process to come to Canada started at the end of 2017. Before that, I graduated at the end of 2016, and I found out about Fun Show. I think it was July 2016, so it took me a lot of time till I could get the money and the nerves to come. So at the most 2017, it wasn't like a good year for me. It was a year I just had gotten out of college. I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have a job. I was low on money. I was trying to get by. I was trying to survive. My parents, they were there. I lived with my parents, and I didn't have to worry about money. But anyway, when you don't have anything to do with your life, when you don't have like a place to go, when you have no vision of a future, that's when it gets you. And I started to just do nothing because I had nothing to do. So I got in a pretty bad depression case, yeah. And that's when my mother looked at me and she said, "No, you won't stay this way. We gotta do something." And the only thing I know that gives you a drive to keep going and to keep fighting is your dream of going abroad. Is your dream of going to Canada and doing this program that you found, this animation program that you found. So if this is what you want for your future, so this is what you're gonna get. I know we said that you had to find your own money to go there, but you're not finding any jobs. You're not finding anything for you here. Brazil is dead end for you. So I'm sending you there. I have some money that I was putting away for a rainy day, and I'm gonna use it with you for your education and your future and your happiness. And so at the end of 2017, the process started. We went looking for agencies to help because I knew what program I wanted to do, I knew what college I wanted to go, but I didn't know anything else. What did I have to do? I had to call I had to call the college. I had to get my visa. I had to apply for the program. I had to do a lot of little stuff, a lot of bureaucracy that I did not know what I had to do. So we started looking for agencies that could help me with that, and we found one. It's called Canadá Destino. By the way, thank you, Teresa. Kisses for you. And Teresa, is the one that helped me come here. And I got there, and she was super helpful. She was super kind. She is like an angel, and she helped a lot. She helped me with my visa. She helped me applying for the college. She helped me with my TOEFL. She helped me with the medical consultation we have to do to get your visa, your student permit. She gave me all explanations that I needed. When we had something, we found out that something was wrong, we called her, and she helped us. My mother is probably talking to her when I have anything wrong. My mother probably is talking to her, and the agency keeps helping me. Like I got their help to get to Funshaw, but my plans are like I'm going to finish Funshaw, I'm going to finish this program, and after that I'm going to Sheridan if I can get accepted in Sheridan. So they gonna help me with that also. So like, yeah, I think like if you're trying to come to Canada and you're from Brazil and you're lost and you don't know what to do, go find an agency. Like those guys can help you like 100%, 1,000%. Just go. I got help with Canadá Destino. I got a friend that got help with another agency. I can't remember the name. He came here today. He just got here. We were talking on the phone, and he was like, half of me is tiredness and half of me is a mess. And I was like, yeah, I feel you, bro. I really do feel you. He's not coming to Funshaw though. He's going to Niagara. But it's close. I mean, if you get on the map, like we have Toronto, then we have like Niagara, and then we have like London. That's where Funshaw is. So yeah, I came here and it wasn't like the best flight I've ever had, but it was okay. I mean, the food was good at least. United, I flown by United, and United gives us great food, to be honest. And what else? So yeah, I had a 15-hour flight from Brazil to London, but that's because I had a 10-hour, if I'm not mistaken, flight from São Paulo to Newark. Then I had a connection in Newark for Toronto, and then from Toronto I came to London. And this whole trip took me 15 hours. The flight was okay, and then I got to Toronto, and when you get to Toronto, like when you apply for your visa, you have to meet some expectations. Like, you have to have a letter of admission from a university or college here in Canada. You have to have that. You also have to have a medical evaluation, but you have to go on the doctor that the consulate asks you to. They have a list of doctors that you can choose from, and most of them do not work with insurance. You have to pay for the consultation, and you have to prove that you have the funds to come here to Canada. Those are the three main things you need to get for your visa to be approved. So to get your letter of the admission, that's the most complicated part, because you need to apply for something in the college. You have to have a TOEFL or an ET something. You have to have a certificate that you can speak English, you can write in English, you can talk, you can speak and talk. Yeah, you can speak English, you can write in English, you can listen to English, you can understand English at a basic level, or more like an intermediate level. Each program and each university has a different score that you need to get on the test. My program asked me for at least an 80 on my TOEFL, and the highest grade you can get on your TOEFL is 120. I got mine. My score was 107, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Or was it? Yeah, no, 107. And you need to have your TOEFL score. You need to have you need to have good grades, like in the last thing you went, be it high school or be it college, anything. The last school you went, you need to get good grades. That's one of the things that helps them to understand what the students like, because they need to know if you're gonna study, if you're just gonna be a waste of their time or not. And you need to have, in my case, because I'm doing an art program, you need to have a good portfolio. I'll be honest, I was kind of scared that my portfolio wasn't that good, but as soon as the letter got back home on January, because we applied on January, at the start of January, and I'm gonna be crude, I was shitting my pants. I wasn't gonna be accepted. I really wanted to come. I really, really did want to come. So we just waited till the letter got home, and when the letter got there and I saw it and I was accepted, it was like one of the best moments ever. It was a relief. Because that was the first step to my new life. 2018 these 8 months of 2018 were basically me getting ready for all of this, for this new experience, for, well, everything. So after you get your letter of acceptance, you can apply for your visa, and then after that you have to wait. And it's not always granted that once you have a letter of acceptance, you will get your visa. But considering everything, the political situation of the world, considering that if you have the right documents, it will be fine, because for now at least, the Canada Embassy back in Brazil do not have interviews. You just have to write a letter of intention. Oh, that's something that you really need to think about when you're doing, and you really need to be careful with that, because there is not an interview. That's just a letter of intention. So be careful when you're writing that. Think about, if you were from the embassy, what would you want to do? What would you want to read? Like, who are you going to let in on your country? I wrote mine, and I wrote mine not even thinking about that I wouldn't have an interview. I was just having that letter. But I wrote mine thinking about what would they want to read, because that letter was my face in that moment. They would receive my letter before they even knew me. So I had to make a good first impression. But then I got my visa 2 weeks before I came here, and meanwhile I was finding places to live. I'm living in a house that the owners live in the house. They live in the first floor of the house, the level floor of the house, and the rooms for rent are in the upper floor. But we share like living space, we share kitchen and stuff like that. They're pretty good, and the plus thing of this house is that everyone that rented the rooms are Brazilians, so I'm kind of like home. And B, there's 2 beautiful, lovable, huggable, huge dogs. And the owners are really great people. They're super duper kind, and they're helpful. I mean, I've been here 3 days, and I really like this place. So I looked for the house. The Funchal website had a listing part, because you can live in the dormitories of the college, or you can find housing outside college. My first option was to live in the dormitories in the college, but according to their payment plans, I didn't think it was a good idea. So I just started looking for housing outside the college, and I did find some houses that I liked too, and I sent an email to all of them. And from all of the houses that replied to me, this one was the one I liked the most. So I made the agreement with the owner by internet. We talked, and now I rented my room. You guys can see my red wall there. I'm gonna put up some posters. I still didn't have the time to finish unpacking everything. I have a green bag, a green plastic bag there with stuff that I still need to put away. But yeah, and then I had a flight home. Now, what I call home. I got here in London. One of the guys that's living here offered to pick me up at the airport, so I didn't have any trouble coming here. The only trouble was that I had a lot of bags, because I had a lot of stuff to bring with me, like necessary stuff. Bring only the essential. That's that's a given. If you're coming here to Canada, bring only the essential. Don't think about bringing winter clothes or something like that, because the truth is, Brazilian clothes just won't be. They just don't. They're not warm enough for the winter here. You will need to buy clothes. You will need to buy warmer clothes. You need to buy things you can wear in snow. I had a little bit of them because I already did a trip to Germany when it was winter there, so I had to buy a little bit of that stuff so I wouldn't freeze to death in Germany. So I brought them with me, but that made me bring, instead of 2 bags, I brought 3. But I did end up getting everything okay. So that's it. So I got here. Yesterday I went to college. I got my card. And this is it. Let me show you guys my card. Here, this is my card. Yeah. Here it is. This is my Funshow card. It is my student ID, but it also is a payment method for anything inside the college. I can load this with money and pay for anything inside the college with it. And it also is my bus pass. As a full-time student at Funshow, I have a free bus pass while I am studying there. So I can go anywhere for free. And I got my card yesterday. I talked to people on the international center. Funshow has an international center for students because there's a lot of international students. Most of them are Indians. Yes, you're gonna see a lot of Indians here in Canada. Don't be alarmed. They are great people. The ones that helped me the most in the international center were the Indians. Yeah. What else? What did you guys ask me? Okay. Yeah, if I'm going to be staying here. As I said before, my plans are to finish this program in Funshow and start another one in Sheridan. Funshow is located in London. Sheridan is located in Oakville. Oakville is near Toronto. Oakville is like Guarulhos to São Paulo. Oakville to London, to Toronto, but like London and Toronto are like, London would be like Campinas and Toronto would be like São Paulo, something like that. So I will need to move eventually, but my program is like 8 months, so I'll be staying here for around a year before I have to move. Alright, next thing, let me see. My plans, I already talked about it. What place I am, I already talked about it. Entering Canada. Alright, so the immigration was pretty simple. If you guys did travel abroad someday, it's basically always the same thing. You're in the line, you had your passport, you have your visa, and you're gonna wait until someone calls you in a booth. When they call you in the booth, then the process starts. They ask you what you're doing here, where you're studying, where you're living, and stuff like that. If they need, they're gonna take your picture. If they need, they're gonna ask you for your digitals. If they need it, sometimes they need, sometimes they don't. My process wasn't that different, but I had to do an additional process that was after I went out of the booth. I had to go to a room, get my student permit. So my student permit is a paper that it's basically saying that it allows me to study and to work part-time. So I had to get my student permit. So because if I didn't have that, I would not be allowed to go to my program, and I would not be allowed to work part-time. And getting the student permit is just like getting there, showing the guys your letter of acceptance. They're gonna ask you what program you're gonna be in. They're gonna ask you what are your intentions here, and you just like answer them. There's not like a really difficult thing. And I know you guys asked that because Americans have a really strict immigration process. And yes, I do agree, Americans do have a strict immigration process. But here in Canada, people, I'm sorry Americans, but here in Canada people are kinder. And they're not like, I think it's because there's a lot less people. Even with all the influx coming of students from other countries, there's less people coming here to Canada than going to America, and that in general makes people who work at immigration kinder, more polite, and all in all makes the process easier. So yeah, immigration was a breeze, I would say. If I didn't have a connection flight in like an hour after I landed, immigration would have been better than it was, but I was like rushing a lot. I didn't even have time to get my social insurance number. That's also another thing that you need if you want to work. So I had to run, and I had to get my social insurance number after I got here in London. Okay, questions. About the weather. Guys, it's hot. Like 29 Celsius were hot. I'm only wearing this because at night I get a little bit cold, and when I'm tired I get a lot cold. So I have the habit to walk around with hoodies. One, because I get cold when I'm tired, and two, because I'm from São Paulo. If you guys know what I'm talking about, we have a joke back home that São Paulo is like the new Karate Kid movie, that you have to put on your coat and take out your coat, put on your coat and take out your coat. So I have this habit of walking around with a hoodie, or at least some kind of coat. But it's hot. I mean, it's summer. This can be hot. So I got like 29 degrees here already, and I've been here for 3 days. There is also at night it gets a little bit colder, but it's night. Like, it's night. Okay, the weather, immigration process, I did talk about that. My family, I talked about that, but yeah, the reaction that my family did when I said to them that I was coming to Canada, mostly they were happy. They were like, go, live your dreams. Go do that, be happy, be successful, do your thing. Sometimes they were like, that's cold, right? When we are going to visit you, we're gonna be cold. And now I'm thinking, like, if they come in summer, no, it will be fine. But yeah, my family was super duper supportive. They wanted me to come here. My mother, most of all, she's the one that sacrificed everything so I could come here. She's the one that, she was like the wind in my wings. She, like, I can't think of words to thank her. Okay, I already talked about where I'm living. Yeah, I'll be staying here in this house for a year because that's how long this program takes, but the next program that I want to do at Sheridan takes 3 years, so I'll probably have to find some place to live in Oakville. the program I'm doing here, I already talked, is 3D animation and character design, but the one I want to do in Sheridan is level design for games. Okay, so about my reception at the college. Every Canadian that I talked to, they were absolutely kind and they were absolutely polite. It's a kind of education that you don't see a lot in Brazil. Like, the most that I can get to is São Paulo, but it's because it's a big city. People try to be kinder in the big city and mind their own business. When you're in small cities like London, when I came here, I like to compare London to the place where my mother is from, that's called Ourinhos. If you're from a big city, this city is like country city for you. It's small. When I was landing in the airport, I looked around and I saw farms, and I saw cows, and I saw that kind of stuff. And I thought of myself, where did I end up? Like, am I in the right city? Is this it? Yeah. To be honest, when you're coming in from the airport is not exactly in the middle of the city, so yeah, you're gonna see the farms. But yeah, the city it's quite big. I mean, in Canada they say it's a medium city, but let's be honest, it's a country city. So yeah, but anyway, in cities like country cities back home, you don't see the education you have here. People are not that polite. Country people back home are like, how can I describe them? Well, yeah, caipiras. There's not another word for that. Besides that, you guys that are Brazilian are gonna understand me. They're not like Canadians. Canadians are extremely polite. I got lost yesterday on the bus. I took the bus on the wrong direction, and people were super helpful. Everyone that I stopped in the streets to ask for directions helped me with a smile on their faces. So yeah, Canadians, I think especially here, because like there's one university and one college, the West something University and the Fanshawe College, and both of them have a lot of international students. So people are used to international students getting lost, international students like in general living in the city. So they're not like, they don't treat immigrants bad. That's the thing. They treat you like a person. And from what I know, I've been here 3 days, so I can talk a lot about it. But they actually, like, they're not like in Brazil where you meet an immigrant and then you're probably gonna help them, but after that you're gonna make fun of them or something like that. No, they help you, they smile at you, and if you are polite, you say sorry, you say thank you say excuse me. All those things your parents teach you when you were little. Oh my god, Giovanna. All those things your parent taught you when you were little, yes. Do that and you're set. You also have to respect the rules, yes. But that's a given. If you're from a big city, you probably are going to respect the rules anyway, because you know that if you don't respect the rules, you're gonna be eaten alive. Back home, at least that's what happened. Here, I'm not sure if you're gonna be eaten alive, but people will probably look at you strange. And the one thing that's most different back home from here is that you need to get to places on time. I have a lot of difficulty with that because most of you guys know that I have problems with time. But you need to get to places on time, or at least 5 minutes before the great time, because Canadians are punctual, like a lot. Yeah. Okay. Food. Food in general, if you know where to buy stuff and if you know what you're looking for, if you look for prices and stuff, it's not that expensive. What is expensive though is meat. Any kind of meat is a lot more expensive than back home. But in general, no. And to be honest, that's kind of good, because like, if you're trying to live a healthier life, like I came here with the mindset that I would try to live a healthier life and be like, to be honest, an adult. I would adult up. That's great, because you can buy like a lot of vegetables, a lot of salad, and don't spend too much. Yeah. What else? Yeah, a friend asked if they have cornflakes. I did see cornflakes and I did see granola, but I didn't look for it exactly. I didn't went to that aisle. So yeah, I'll probably be posting a picture later about that. Just for him, maybe I'll post it on YouTube. You guys know. You guys, please comment below, tell me what you want to know, and I'll talk to you later. I'll probably show you my room also, if you guys like to, after I set everything up, and show you the neighborhood. Yeah, last thing. In the last video, I showed you guys all the papers on the wall at the college. Also, I'm gonna do a bigger tour of the college, because that part you guys saw was just a little bit of it. There's a whole lot more. There's like, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 buildings in that campus. So I'm gonna go there with my phone with battery, because I was trying to make this part of the video and my battery died. So I'm gonna go there with my full battery and do that video later. But anyway, you guys saw the papers on the wall, the posters on the wall, and one of you saw the goat yoga. Yeah, there will be a goat yoga, and I'm thinking about it. I won't promise anything, but if I do go to the goat yoga, I will film it, or at least take pictures and show you guys. I did subscribe myself for the Fuel esports team. I try to play Overwatch there. And yeah, I got to subscribe for a lot of more things, but that I'm going to solve on orientation day. That's Tuesday. So I think that's it. I'm gonna stop talking now and gonna hang this up, because I really have to go. Yeah. Okay, guys. Great talking to you, and I'll see you all later. Bye.